Greetings. Welcome to the Other 167. I'm Pearl John from Logos Management, and it is my privilege to share the last message of this year. I brim with gratitude toward God today that God has counted us worthy to keep each one of us alive and well. There were many who started this year with us who have not seen today. Many who started this quarter but are not here today. Many who saw yesterday are not alive. But we have pulsating energy flowing in our veins, and the Lord has been kind to us and ours, and we need to be grateful to the Lord for. Also, as we are in the last but one day of the year 2022, this is perhaps an opportune time to review the year and use that review to help feed into making a better tomorrow. I'd like us to reference Philippians chapter 3 verses 13 and 14, which gives you a clear picture of where we are as we come to the end of the year. I'm still not all I should be, but I'm focusing all my energies on this one thing, forgetting the past and looking forward to what lies ahead. I strain to reach the end of the race and receive the prize for which God, through Christ Jesus, is calling us. I would like to present 3 C's to guide you through this training or reviewing process. 1. Consider. It is perhaps critical to consider 3 areas: your big wins, your big woes, and your big opportunities. Let us start with the big wins. One of the must-dos as you consider the year gone by is to reflect on your big wins on the personal front, on the professional front, and on the spiritual front. For this will allow you to celebrate your wins. Celebrating the big wins is absolutely critical because it enables you to go ahead and repeat that same big win all over again. As part of the consulting team, we always endeavor to celebrate our victories, as that invariably energized the team to move forward with renewed energies to achieve higher goals. I always raised a set of questions to the team to get them to think about and respond. I would like to move on to 3 areas that you should consider and present yourself with these set of questions that will help you to focus on the celebrations. And this necessarily needs to be a precursor to your celebrations. On the personal front, consider where you have made giant strides in your personal life. What are your biggest successes that you are satisfied about? What are those areas where intrinsically you feel that you have grown substantively as a person, as a human being? Those areas where you see a visible development in your attitude and your behavior. Often the challenge is that you don't celebrate enough or don't pat yourself on the back for the progress that you have made. Take time to do that. On the professional front, consider the major wins from a professional standpoint. Where did you see yourself at your element? What areas came naturally to you throughout this year? What knowledge and skills did you master? How did you leverage your skills within your work context? And how comfortable were you to doing that? From a spiritual standpoint, how far have you grown in your spiritual walk? How did you balance the demands of your life with your spiritual being? How far have you come to a deeper understanding of yourself vis-a-vis the sublime aspects of your soul? Take a moment to relish the spiritual journey that you have made through this year and revel at that knowledge. Your big woes is the second area that you need to consider. Along with your big wins, you need to be thinking about your big woes you experienced during this year. Consider the physical context. What have been your struggles in the physical realm? What have you not grown as a person on? Where have you slid further down in terms of your attitude towards the lesser privileged or towards your spouse or your siblings? Where have you experienced challenges? What behavioral shifts have you been unable to bring about? These are very important for you to consider. Moving on to the social context. How many relationships that you planned to nurture were you unable to build? How many relationships have gone sour? How many neighbors that you intended to visit did not end up in that visit? How many friends did you not manage to call as you planned to? How many social causes that you planned to support fizzled out? How many friends that you agreed to connect with but did not? So this again is a very important piece that you need to focus on. The third area, which is the spiritual context. What have been your key areas of struggle? Where have you missed the mark in terms of your thoughts, in terms of your words and actions? How did you measure up in your meditation of the Word, your personal time with God? How many books did you manage to read as against what you envisaged to read? What areas did you find yourself faltering? In your finances, in your relationships, in your time with the family? It may be useful to consider these big issues, the big woes that could potentially detract you as a person. That assessment should feed into what you would be doing or should be doing going forward. So let's move on to the next area, which is your big opportunities. Often we do not consciously consider the opportunity landscape, and thus we miss potential opportunities for us to grow into or leverage. Now, those who have their eyes and ears trained on the opportunities are in a place to spot emerging opportunities and convert them into their advantage. Classic examples are of Elon Musk. Elon Musk saw an opportunity emerge in the electric vehicle space and created that breakthrough Tesla cars. The other example could be Jeff Bezos, who saw an opportunity and created Amazon. We all know about the largest retail platform in the world. What opportunities exist in and around you that you have not tapped into? This is perhaps an opportune time to reflect on. And this would call for going beyond your comfort zone and asking yourself some really very uncomfortable questions, considering the new areas that are booming in your vertical or industry, and consciously scanning the market to look for new facets and vistas of opportunities in the horizon. And that is perhaps useful for you to identify. This in turn will ensure you are consciously and intentionally focusing on the opportunities that you can encash on. And once you have got a good diagnosis of the big wins, the big woes, and the big opportunities, you move on to the next C, which is to calibrate. I would like to focus on 3 areas that you need to calibrate on. Calibrate your pluses and minuses firstly. Consider your key strengths that enabled you to achieve your big wins. These strengths are those that you should leverage on a consistent basis, and you need to calibrate your strengths. The weaknesses that led to your big woes. Understanding your weakness is perhaps a key component of the calibration process, as it provides insight into areas that you need to watch out for in the coming year. Remember 1 Corinthians chapter 12 and verse 9, "My grace is sufficient for you, for my strength is made perfect in weaknesses." Your weaknesses has the potential to be the channel of His grace and the focus on the average areas that could have been enhanced. And these moderate areas are those that need to invest time on and effort on to move them